Okay, part 3 of explaining a little bit more about myself and my husband and why we discuss so much of our private life here through whichever format you're seeing this through, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Okay, so part 3, let's talk about why do we share. The first year that we were dealing with a lot of our stuff, we were in the middle of a lawsuit. So we definitely, we weren't talking so much about things because we were told not to. Once that ended, I will say for me first, talking about everything that we deal with on the daily is therapeutic for me. I could go to a therapist, and I absolutely advocate for people to go talk it out and seek treatment if you're having issues. For me, this has been a lot of therapy for me. Just talking about it, and I know that I'm not the only spouse, family member, caregiver out there. And let's be honest, truly, I did have, let's call it an upper hand in the fact that I'm a physical therapist assistant when our accident happened. Doesn't mean I know everything. So I love outpatient orthopedics. So your sports injuries, your daily injury kind of thing, post-op, knee surgeries, hip replacements, that kind of thing. That's kind of my happy place in the world of therapy. My husband having a spinal cord injury, that definitely rolls on into a neurological type of physical therapy, and that was not anything that I was ever familiar with. When you go to school, you learn a very broad base of everything, but it's like drinking from the fire hose. And in that 2 years as a PTA, in a PTA program, 2-year window, you're drinking from the fire hose, like trying to absorb as much information that you possibly can, but also in the back of your mind knowing what kind of, maybe where you want to go. I wanted to go outpatient orthopedics. So I did not have a ton of experience or confidence working in a neurological setting, especially with my husband and how difficult everything was coming home. I certainly, oh man, there's a lot of, I gotta be careful how I phrase this, because I can get in my own head, and I think that everybody's pretty familiar with that, and I try to glance back at how difficult things were, but I try not to focus on how difficult those things were, because it can get kind of heavy, and I don't feel that that's great for me. It was very difficult. There were days where I, despite having so many people calling and messaging and saying, hey, we're here to help you, is incredibly lonely. This is the loudest loneliness that someone can experience becoming a caregiver for a family member. And there's a lot of families out there where they share the duties, and that's awesome. I had a lot of people offering that, and I was just not ready for that. To be quite honest, like I thought I watched my husband die, and to know he lived through that and how much pain he was in was difficult, because I couldn't protect him. I couldn't make him feel better. I couldn't make it better. And the only thing I could focus on was the therapy aspect of things. It's like, once we get through this, like I can help. I can help do this. But it was difficult. And so sharing a lot of that information, again, was very therapeutic for me. But as time has gone, and even doing this transportation business, I reach a lot of other people in home. I've met a lot of other caregivers along the way, and we all have a very, very similar thought process of, this is difficult, and you feel alone a lot of the time. And so when I share, I'm trying to share to make sure that other people know you're not alone. This is difficult, and there are days where you just want to give up and you want to throw in the towel, and you say, well, why am I doing this? Like, why am I giving up my time? Why did I leave my job? Why did I do this? Why is it so difficult to get help from the doctors or other resources? Why is it so difficult to deal with the insurance company? Why is it so difficult? Those were kind of the thoughts that I had, that it's so frustrating sometimes. You're doing your best to advocate not only for your loved one or your patient, client, whatever, but also you got to advocate for yourself. And so that was the thing that I struggled with, was that I was kind of felt like maybe people didn't understand, and then you meet these other people and they're like, yep, been there. So this is that's what this is. This is my effort in putting my hand out there and saying, I understand, and I'm here to listen. And so that's why I share so much, and I share not only the good days, but also the bad days. I do my best to share those bad days. It's hard to make a video on a bad day, but it's being honest that there are bad days, and we got to talk through those ones as well. And I just kind of try to share some of the other videos or things that other people might find completely random, of like, why is she even talking about this? But really it's things that frustrate caregivers, whether it's the parking lot or just providers not showing up on time, or transport falling through, or just the little things that add up. And I want everybody to know that somebody does understand, and if there's anything that we can do to make things better for you, is to be here to listen and to share what we've gone through and say, yep, it sucks sometimes. And it's just here to give voice to the caregivers and raise awareness for caregivers and offer as much support as we possibly can. And also the spin of it is, the people with the spinal cord injury or living with disabilities, and their life has changed dramatically, or as they get older, things are changing and it's not fun. And just knowing that you have a place here. You have a place to where you can vent and yell and scream and whatever, and we understand and we get it, and we're going to listen to you. So, so that's part 3, a little bit more. So I think I got one more part that we'll touch base on, and then we'll go from there. All right. Talk to you soon.